Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks, TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how you can earn $1 million a year. This is going to be the basic math behind earning $1 million a year. Now this is not to say it's going to be simple for you, especially if you're coming from a place where you're earning a few $1,000s a month. But I want to show you a basic system for how you can make it work for you. Now let's break down the basic math, the very, very basic math of this. $1 million a year comes out to $2,739.73 a day, roughly. So just think $2,740 a day will earn me $1 million a year. And of course, with anything, you may have some days where you earn $3,500 and some days where you earn $2,000 when you're getting started. But the first thing to think about is scaling. If you have your own business or if you work for somebody else, is there a way of scaling that up to earn more money? Whatever you're doing now, let's say, just for the sake of discussion, that you earn the $2,739.73 you need to earn a day. That's what you take in 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks you get that. So 2 out of 30 days in the month, you earn the amount of money you need to be earning each and every day. So you need to get those other 28 days earning that same amount of money. Now with most jobs, you can't do that because you're selling your time for money. You have to be at the job for 8 hours a day, or if you're earning an hourly wage, your time is the commodity being sold for money and you only have 24 hours. So the most you could possibly do is whatever you're getting per hour and do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And of course you can't survive doing that. And it's not going to get you $1 million. There's no way a person working an hourly wage is getting enough to earn $1 million a year, working hourly wages. So what you need to do is see outside of that picture. A lot of people are trapped in a working for somebody else bubble, or they're in their own bubble in their own business and they've never even considered scaling up. Now, to be very clear, it doesn't matter how much money you've made. So don't hold yourself down by saying, well, you know, I've never earned even $100,000 a year. It doesn't matter. Everybody has to start somewhere. So I don't care if you have 1 penny to your name and the most you've ever earned is $1,000 in a month. That's all right. If you've earned $1,000 in a month, how can you take that understanding you were able to earn $1,000? How can you do that more often and scale that up? And of course, in this situation, you basically need to do that 3 times in a day. So if you are a salesperson and you earn $1,000 commission on sales, well, you need to get 3 sales in a day, roughly, to earn $1 million in a year. Now, this is where people don't think. They just kind of accept whatever's been presented to them by the company or in their own business, and they don't really think about the scaling factor. How can you take this? You're able to sell, maybe you're able to sell 1 person a day and you're getting $1,000 commission. Maybe that's really you at your peak. You're just not able to get more sales. Sometimes you get 2, maybe. But some days you also get 0, so that kind of evens it out to 1 a day on average. How can you scale that up? Well, what if you, with the knowledge you've learned to get 1 sale a day, hired somebody on your own on a commission basis and paid them $500 for each sale that they convert? Now you train them, show them everything you know, give them some of your extra leads that you can't convert. You just don't have the time to even get to them. And now, with that $1,000 worth of commission you're able to get a day, you're now getting an extra $500 because you've trained somebody, basically duplicated yourself. And now you're working towards scaling this up. Once you train that person, you've got them earning, and you're paying them $500 every sale they're converting. So you're getting half of that commission. You're paying them the other half. Now you get somebody else. You train them. You do the same thing again until you get to the point where you're doing your average 1 sale a day. And you probably will start doing a little bit better because with all this training, you will see some of the things that don't work because other people are going to handle things a little differently. They approach things a little differently. And you'll see, oh, this will be even better because you've been doing it your way and that works all right for you. But there might be even better ways, and you'll learn that through the training. It's very important. So you will probably get better and start having a lot more of those days where you're actually getting 2 sales instead of just 1. But let's just say you're only doing the 1 sale a day still, and you're trying to get near the $3,000 a day in commissions so you can earn $1 million a year. Well, as you brought on more people and you're paying them $500 of the $1,000 commission for the sales they are converting for you, you just need 4 of them to do that base level of 1 sale a day. Now they're getting a good wage. They're happy with that. You are now getting 2,000 more each day from these people you've hired. And now doing the same 1 sale a day, you are able to get over $1 million in a year because you scale that up. Most salespeople never think that. They just think, I got to go get more sales. I got to make more calls. And you do, because the average salesperson's bottleneck is themselves. It's not even, you don't have to worry about scaling. They haven't even done what they could do. They sit around, they procrastinate, they piddle around, they make calls to people they know aren't going to buy. They waste time because selling is not the most fun, especially if you're doing cold calls. That's not the most fun. People don't like being rejected. No matter how often they've done it, it's still not the most enjoyable process. So first, if you're doing sales, make sure you're doing all that you can. But now let's take it to any business. And I'm trying to relate to things that are more common and have easy access. Sales has easy access. You may not get in the top position, but there's entry-level sales jobs everywhere. If you can sell, they don't care your experience. They don't care if you just crawled out from under a rock. If you can get sales for them, there's some company that's going to hire you. And they're happy to pay you well if you're getting them sales. Let's take something a little easier because a lot of people aren't going to do sales. They just don't want to do it. What if you sell on eBay or Amazon or Etsy or whatever? If you get $100 a day in sales, and we're not talking about expenses here and cost of goods and all this stuff because that just makes the math confusing and it's going to be a variable depending on who is selling, what they're selling, where they are, the cost of shipping, all that stuff. Let's not even worry about that. We're just talking to get something going and start scaling it up. So let's say you get $100 in sales. Could you get $1,000 in sales? The items you're selling $100 worth, could you ramp that up to $1,000 worth in a day? Basically, and there's going to be some variables, because if you're at that lower entry level, there's going to be a lot of tweaking you could do to increase your sales. It may be having better pictures, better titles, better descriptions. It could also be sourcing better products. Perhaps you're targeting really low value products. Well, if you're creating a listing for eBay, it takes the same amount of time roughly to list a $1,000 item as it does a $10 item. Now, at first, you don't have access to any $1,000 items, most likely. So you don't even have any of those to list. So that's not even an option. But if you do, you don't need to be wasting your time with those $10 items. Until you've run out of the more expensive items, then you can list those $10 items, but those aren't really worth messing with. But you do have to understand that most of the products being sold by a large percentage are $30 and under. And there are tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions of products like that. So all you have to do is increase your product line. Now, if you're making products, it's going to be hard because you're basically getting into a time for money situation where you only have so much time in a day. If you can make 10 widgets per hour, well, that means you're capped out at 240 widgets a day, and that would be working 24 hours a day, which you can't do. You can't sustain that. Now, you could, like with the sales illustration I gave, hire other people. Now, maybe they can't perform at your level, but maybe they can make $5 an hour. That would be a way of scaling up, presuming you can get the sales. If there's pretty much an unlimited market for that and people want to buy it, but you just can't make enough of them, you need to hire somebody to help you make them, pay them well, and that way you can expand and scale up. And it's going to be slow at first. You're not going to go from $100 in sales a day to the needed $2,739.73 in sales a day. That's not going to happen. But you can get to 200, and you'll learn some stuff along the way to improve. Then you can get to 300 a day, and you can go from there. You just need to keep scaling up, and you might need to take more employees on to help you. You might need to start buying more inventory. You might need to consider new inventory. You might need to consider hiring somebody to source the inventory for you. A lot of people are doing retail arbitrage. Well, you only have so much time in a day to find items to buy and then list and resell. So you might need to hire somebody that does that sourcing for you. There are people who love doing that. They don't like the listing part. They don't like the selling part on eBay or Amazon or wherever. But they would be happy to do it for you. You could pay them an extra $2 or so per item. They'll source all the inventory for you, bring it to you, you list it, and you can start scaling up that way, because now you have other people doing some of the work that takes up a lot of your time. That's the big bottleneck in the business, and you can get more listed and consequently scale up from there. You might need to hire more people to help you list. You can't stay in the single person mentality, the solopreneur mentality, and be able to really scale up. Not in most businesses. So I know this is ultra basic, didn't give you any specific tactics you have to do, except to look at what you're doing. How can you duplicate that? How can you bring other people on to help you double or triple those results? And keep doing that. Improve your process, improve what you're doing, improve how you're getting sales, and bring more people on who can duplicate what you've done. Make it something easy to duplicate, that you can bring somebody off the street with a little bit of skills and they can start doing what you're doing now. And that's going to be the way you're going to work your way to that roughly $2,740 a day worth of revenue that will make you be earning over $1 million a year. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.